I'm not in Ecuador. I'm not in Ecuador. I'm in Dallas. Actually, I'm in Denton, Texas, which is where I'm from. I'm a native Texan. My name is Deborah. This channel is called 60 Plus Black Women Expats. And we talk about moving and living abroad, either permanently or for extended periods of time. I'm not a digital nomad. I don't flow from one country to another, even though I plan to do more travel this year and next year. But I have been in Ecuador, Manta, Ecuador, on the coast for it'll be 4 years in January. I'm at my annual visit here in the States. I come back because I pay that $202 every month to Medicare, and I'm here trying to make use of it. And oh my gosh, I remember the frustration of our medical system here in the States. It has not been fun at all. It's you pay that amount of money every single month, and then I come to the States to try to utilize it, and it's like every appointment is 6 weeks or more out. And same thing happened last year where I had to change reservations to get some tests in. But this morning, I am I brought a little bit of Ecuador with me home in the form of my water kefir grains. One of the things I started abroad, just having a healthy gut for our seniors, is doing the milk kefir and water kefir, where you use fermentation to get some good gut bacteria, because you're only as healthy as your gut is. I don't care where you live in the world. You're only as healthy as your gut is. And so I dehydrated my water kefir grains because it's pretty difficult to find them. And I think I'm going to look for milk kefir grains. I think I can order them from Amazon, and then I can show my grandkids and my adult kids who are interested on how to have a healthy beverage every single day that's completely natural, with no stevia, no artificial sweeteners. So much of what our kids are drinking, adults and younger kids, they put all the good stuff up front, and then you read all the fine prints, and it's all the chemicals, which pretty much are not good for your body. Just not good. So, like, grandkids are pretty excited about me bringing water kefir grains. There are my grains right there, all the way from Ecuador, and rehydrating them. And the rehydrating them is actually harder than dehydrating them. So I took some healthy grains that I use, and I rinsed them, dried them on a paper towel for it took almost 48 hours for them to get totally dried out to the point where instead of gel like, they were crunchy. So I knew my grains would then travel. I put them in a Ziploc bag and I brought them to Texas. And then I started to rehydrate them with unchlorinated water. You have to, because chlorines will kill the grains. Hot water will kill the grains, and I don't want to kill the grains. And so the result of this will be, this is my second batch. It's not fizzy now, but if you've watched any of my previous video broadcasts, you'll see it gets all bubbly and fizzy, and you're creating your own healthy, sparkling water that's filled with probiotics for your gut. So you can watch along if you want. I just decided, well, since I hadn't talked to you guys in a while, and you can certainly ask me questions. I think, can I see? Welcome to the live. Hey, okay, let's see. Hi. What about that? Oh, gosh. You know what? I heard this probably 2 years ago when I first started doing fermentation. I live on the coast of Ecuador in a city called Manta, where literally everything grows. You throw a seed in the ground and you almost have a vine overnight, or a tree. But there's so much good produce. that I started to make use of it. I mean, of course, eating it, no growth hormones, not sitting in a warehouse for days. It's literally a farm to market, farm to street, because most of the people, you can buy like 20 limes or lemons for like 99 cents. And just look at some of my previous videos where I laid out like a whole table full of veggies, everything from watermelon and cantaloupe and grapes and raspberries and strawberries and blueberries, and the entire table was covered. And I even had meats on there, fresh meats, and it was under $33. And that I did that early on, and it just blew my mind how far my dollar would go living abroad. Now, there's some grocery stores that are just as expensive as the ones in the US, but those are the ones that pretty much cater to gringos, regardless of what race you are. You're a gringo if you are if you're a foreigner, and especially if you're one from the US. So anyway, that's kind of where I am. And I started to get off sodas because I love Dr. Peppers. In fact, I'm going to drink a Dr. Pepper today and every day while I am here in the States, because it costs double what it costs for a kid of Dr. Pepper abroad. But to balance out and to get me off of drinking so much sodas, I started making probiotic bubbly, I guess you could call bubbly water, which is the equivalent of soda. And you do it with, you get the water kefir grains. I was able to locate them in Manta, and I started doing it. And it's so much fun. And then I get to decide whether I'm drinking pineapple soda or pomegranate soda or cranberry soda. And I say soda, but it's sparkling water that is actually good for you because you control the amount of sugar. And before you say, oh gosh, sugar, I can't drink sugar, I'm a diabetic or whatever, I'm the only one of 6 kids that is not a diabetic. So when you add the sugar water to the kefir grain, it eats the sugar. It eats the sugar and produces the bubbles from that. So you're not drinking a lot of sugar. And that's really good. The same thing with the milk kefir. You put whole milk in there. And I always thought I was lactose tolerant, but I could drink kefir because the milk kefir grains eat the lactose. They do it for you. So it's pre-digested lactose. So you get all the good probiotic of the beverage with none of the stuff that's not good for your body. And that's the way our ancestors did. In fact, they say the milk kefir grains, they call it manta because they actually don't know where it ever originated. And it's literally all over the world, every single culture. You just have to know who to ask for it. And it's usually at some indigenous local store, or you can order the milk kefir grains and probably the water kefir grains too, kefir or kefir. I think Amazon can access anything. But these are mine, and they traveled well, dehydrated, and now I'm, okay, let's see. Hi, Jackie. That's so cool. It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I mean, I'm 70 years old, and my abs, I mean, I'm not bragging, but they were a lot. I had much more here in this midsection before I started making my gut healthy. Because your body knows what to do with food. Your body does not know what to do with manufactured chemicals. And that's why you have so much bloating and just other digestive issues. So anyway, what I have here, because it's time for me to change the water, it's because normally to rehydrate grains, it's going to be almost a week. So these will be in room temperature, non-chlorinated sugar water for about 48 hours. In Manta, it's so warm, mine usually start bubbling after 24 hours, sitting near my stove, away from direct sunlight in a nice warm place in your kitchen. So these were left at my other grandkids' house for about 5 days. So this water should have been changed by now. You can see the kefir grains. So I'm gonna go, but they're still healthy because they're not mushy, they're not brown, they're nice and almost clear, translucent, which means they are still alive. They're just very hungry. So, and because the only thing I have access to is this Kroger purified drinking water, which is just the city water that's gone through some more filters and then bottled. That's all I have access to. I love spring water because the grains actually need healthy minerals in them. And this has been purified the heck out of it, which is safe, but you're not getting beneficial minerals. It doesn't have chlorine, so I can use it, but I have to put some minerals in this water. So the first thing I did was boil an egg and take off the eggshell because that's going to release some calcium as in the water over that 48 hours. And so I boiled it because I don't want salmonella, and the eggshell has to be extremely clean, and you have to remove that little membrane from there because that membrane is protein, and we don't want protein in here because it could rot my kefir grains. So just a nice clean piece of eggshell, and I only needed about a quarter size eggshell that's already in the clean water here. Now I'm going to add, so that's going to add some calcium mineral. Now I'm going to add some brown sugar. Ooh, I got some dark brown sugar. I might mix it because the brown sugar still has molasses in it, and that's going to put some good minerals in there. I'm going to put a 4th cup of the brown sugar. I think I'm going to mix the dark and the regular brown sugar together. You go, yeah, that's a lot of sugar. My grains are very hungry. My grains are very hungry at this point. So I'm going to feed them. So let's see here. Normally I just use white table sugar for my healthy grains. Back home, in Monte, but whoops. So my water's gonna turn. Oh, I don't know how old this brown sugar is. Okay, maybe I'll just use the regular white sugar. Just a little bit of brown sugar. They also said if I didn't have access to brown sugar, I could use the white sugar. It's just so much is stripped out of it, and if I had access to, and you don't want to pack it. It's just, yeah, you don't need to pack the sugar. You just need to. Okay, so I'm going to put this 1/4 cup of sugar. And like I said, don't freak out. The grains are going to eat the sugar. That's how they produce the bubbles. Kind of like them spelling class. Well, they call it bubbling water with gas, so, okay. Oh, I wanted to use not a plastic spoon, but I'm not in my kitchen. I'm in my daughter's kitchen, which doesn't have a lot of my fermentation tools because they don't do fermentation. Okay, so, oh, and I'm going to add just a pinch of baking soda. Tiny, tiny bit. Now I have to find her baking soda. I'm sure her baking soda is somewhere here. Baking soda. I saw baking soda the other day, so I know it's in here. Not my kitchen, so I'm looking for it. Can you guys hear me okay? I will step back and look to see what the response was to that question. I'm looking for baking soda. You know she has some. I saw it. I spied it with my eyes, like there's eyes, flour, cornmeal. I'm surprised I didn't travel with baking soda. put anything past me when it comes to. I say that. Oh, I think I found it. No, it's not baking soda. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'll look for it later. And it'll probably pop right out once I stop looking for it. I will lay my eyes on it, but right now I don't see the baking soda. Oh, gosh darn. Gosh darn. Where else would it be? Okay, well, I will add the baking soda when I find it. Okay, so now the water is now this pretty golden color. Okay, I did not find the baking soda. I know she has it. I will continue to look for it. When I stop looking for it, I'll probably find it. Okay, so now I need to rinse. I'm going to set this aside, and I need to rinse the grain. Again, I don't have the strainer that I would have at home, so that's going to be pretty interesting how I rinse the grain. I'm going to give one more quick look for baking soda up here. Ah, here's the yellow creatine. Okay. Oh, they said I could also add a little Celtic salt, just a tiny bit. So if I don't find the baking soda, the Celtic salt should do the trick. Really look like the baking soda, but I don't see it. I don't see it. See you. I will not be deterred. I will. Okay, so because I did not find the baking soda, I'm going to add just a tiny pinch. I'm doing, if you join me late, I love cranberry soda. I know, isn't it wonderful? Especially when you make it yourself. I mean, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it when you make it yourself. Okay, so what's in here, if you join late, I live in Manta, Ecuador. I'm a native Texan. I'm a senior. I'm 70. In a few weeks, I'm going to be 71. Ugh. But every day above ground is a time for celebration. So, hey, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. So, anyway, where was I? Okay, there goes that senior brain. You gotta learn, you gotta laugh with yourself. Okay, so I got the water kefir grains here. I'm gonna rinse them, and I've made, because they're starving, I'm rehydrating them. I dehydrated them in Ecuador so that they could travel with me here to Dallas, Texas. Actually, I'm in Benton. I've added to this water because the only water in the house I can't do the tap water because it has chlorine. Chlorine will kill the grains. So I'm doing the bottled water, and the only bottled water, and it's not an advertisement for this bottled water, it just happens to be Kroger pure hot water, but so much is stripped out of the water that I don't have the good minerals that the grains need. So I've added some minerals back. I boiled an egg to make sure it's no bacteria, no salmonella, whatever. I stripped the membrane out, and I have about a quarter-sized piece of eggshell. Right there, you can see it at the bottom. So the minerals, and that'll release calcium into the water over the 48 hours where the grains set in the water. So I have calcium added to the water. I have brown sugar. I have a little dark and light brown sugar, because that's going to add more minerals. And the darker the sugar, it has a little molasses, which is going to put a multitude of minerals in the water for the grains to eat. And don't poo-poo the quarter cup. I used 1/4 cup to 1 quart of water. The grains are going to eat the sugar. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I can't do all that sugar, because you can't. I was supposed to add a pinch of baking soda, which I cannot find. I'm going to give one more quick look. One more quick look, because some people store their baking soda under the counter because they clean with it. I clean a lot with baking soda and vinegar, so I might find it anywhere. But, no, anyway, I don't want this to be that long, so I'm going to add just a tiny, tiny bit of Selena Natural. Let me make sure there's no additives in here. Light gray Celtic salt. Now, I don't need it to contain iodine. I just need it to vital mineral blend. Great. And I need to make sure that the only ingredient in here is raw Celtic salt. Ingredient, Celtic salt. Nothing else. Yay. I'm good. Good to go. So I'm going to add just this tiny, tiny little bit. Just a little bit. That's it. Stir that, give that a good stir. The water has to be room temperature. Can't be hot. If it's too hot, it will kill the grains. The grains are alive, and heat kills them. Chlorine kills them. Anything that's not really clean, of course, will contaminate them. Okay. But these grains can be used. These grains are over a year old. Yeah, these grains are probably close to 2 years old, and they grow. So this is only half. I probably have this many grains. I only took half to travel with me, because in case I did destroy them when I get back home, I want some grains that I can use. And I think I only dehydrated half. The other half are sitting in my fridge, so I need to tell my pet sitter to go ahead and change that water and just add some sugar water. Okay. Now I need to rinse these, because they have set in this. And when you put fresh water in here, you put like a coffee filter around with a rubber band, because that sugar water is just a calling call, a lunch bell for any kind of fruit fly, or in Manta, it would be the sugar ants, which are teeny, teeny, tiny and seem to fall out of thin air. But they have to breathe, because it is a living culture down here. It has to have air, so you can't seal it. Let's see. So I'm going to, and because I can't strain it properly because I don't have my tools here, I'm going to see if I can hold this and carry it with me. I'm going to pour out. I'm being very careful not to pour my grains out, but I'm pouring out this water is not for me to drink or to use it anyway. It's set here. It's just, no, it's depleted of anything that I want. The grains have taken all they can. Okay, now, there are my grains. I'm going to open another bottle of, my daughter probably would shoot me for. Okay, alrighty. So I'm going to pour some of this purified water in here. Normally you don't rinse your grains, but because these sat in the same water for 5 days, they're very acidic. And I don't need them to be acidic, so I'm going to rinse them, give them a good rinse. Add a little more water. Rinse them really good. Let them settle to the bottom, because I don't have a good strainer. And I don't want to lose any of my grains. So I'm going to pour. And I know there's probably some teeny tiny ones. I can see them in this water, but I'm not going to lose a lot. I'm going to pour very, very slowly. When I do the milk kefir, when I clean the, you never, ever, ever rinse the milk kefir grains because you be rinsing out the healthy bacteria, the healthy gut bacteria. So these look good. Okay. I'm just gonna pour that out without losing any of my grains. Okay, now I'm going to add this to the mixture that is waiting to feed them that I have over here. So it's gonna be a little more than, pour those right in there. And because I want to make sure I get all my grains, pour a little water back in here. And, oops, can you see? All right, and give this a good swishing to make sure I got all my grains, and then dump. That's it. So now I'm going to put the cover, well, I'll stir it just a little bit, tiny bit. I know my grains are saying, thank you for dinner. It's been a while. Been fasting for about 5 to 6 days. And I'm going to put the rubber band back on here. And this concludes, what, oh, almost 30 minutes of a live with rehydrating water kefir grains that traveled from Ecuador and are in Texas. And now, oh, they look so good. That's the color you want, almost translucent white. The texture is kind of like a jelly bean kind of texture. And I'm just going to set them in the warmest place in this kitchen. The house is pretty chill because it's Texas and it's 108 in the shade. So inside the AC is pretty much lasting. In fact, I'm wearing long sleeve because I'm used to Montauk's climate. I'm used to being warm in my house. I have AC in my bedroom, but the rest of my house is pretty much fans. And so I brought out like summer clothes and they keep it cool in the house. So I'm actually wearing long sleeves and long pants. Okay. So I'm going to set it over here. Here is the counter area where you can see I have the juices. I'm going to make pineapple. Let me see. I'm going to make pineapple soda. I'm going to make pomegranate. And it has to be 100% juice with no additives at all, no stabilizers or anything. So I'm just going to set my grains right over here. Oh, I was like, what is that? That's the eggshell at the bottom. Okay. So I'm just going to set that there. And now I'm going to sign off. And once they start fizzing and bubbling, I'll probably do, maybe not a live, but a recording. So just you can see the stages. So stay tuned, maybe tomorrow or the next day. Probably going to be 48 hours. Until next time, never give up on your dreams, especially if it's to live abroad. Let me know. Share this. That you like it. Leave a comment. Leave other things you'd like to see. Okay, until next time. Bye. Now let's see where I hit stop. That's it. Are you sure you want to stop, Amy? Yep, pretty sure.